Yeah, we are welcome to the demo session. I believe you are ready for the demo. So please call up your SQL Management Studio now. Let's practice together some of the SQL statements that we have discussed in the class. So I'm going to share my screen now and we would go straight into the demo. Okay, let me cancel this and of course, show us from the very beginning. So let's call up our SQL Management Studio from our Start button. Oops, that's under Tools. Great. Okay, so in our last class, we imported some data from Excel, the US regional data. So we are going to be working on that data today and practicing on retrieving information from that database using various SQL statements. Basically, we'll be using select statements and see how select statement works using various conditions and various methods. Okay, so remember the select statement simply has the syntax select so I just, this is just a comment. Whenever you start your statement with double hyphen, that's a comment. So now let's write our select statement. A simple select statement is simply select star from the table name. So in this case, we want our sales order table name, right? So it has, if I execute, it will not run. Why? Because I'm in my master's DB and there's no sales order table in my master's DB. So I can do it in two options. I can change to my DB from here, or I can use an SQL statement to force it to change. To do that, I'll say use, then specify the DB. So anywhere you see use this, use an information in brackets, or this is a DB name in brackets, it simply means irrespective of whatever DB that is here, right? Use this particular DB and give me the information. So if I run this now, it's going to run, right? So this is a simple select statement to get all the columns. Whenever I use star, star refers to all the columns. So simple select statement, star symbol will retrieve all the columns. Okay, now, so we want to write a select statement with a where clause now. Select statement with a where clause. Nice. So the syntax for it is simply your select statement. I can, okay, now let's specify columns that I want to select from. Now to specify the columns, right, I would type the column names here. Okay, to make it, okay, I want to also use this same statement to explain table alias. So I'm selecting from a given table, right? I want to use a table alias. So for a table name here, I'm just going to say SO. So any text I put just after the table name, take it as an alias. So I can come here to say SO dot um, SO dot let's say other number. Let me see if this will work best. Okay, nice. So normally if we want to select from our statements, would indicate the column name, and in the column name it will say dbo dot something something dot the column. Okay, if I run this now, it will not work because okay, so it can work with the table name or the alias. Okay, let's use alias in maybe a much more complex table. It's clearer. So let's do this. Let's select order, comma. Let's select sales channel. Let's just select some of the columns, and then we'll indicate a where clause. Okay, so I'm just selecting a few columns, and I want it to give me data from this table where my sales channel is online. I think under sales channel, it could be online, it could be website or something. So in this case, let's just click online. I'm sure online is there. So because online is a string, you need to indicate the code. So if I run this now, it will give me the columns I've requested for from the table, and then filter by online. So you can see that all the values retrieved for me are having the same sales channel online, right? So this is a simple where clause. So let's use the where clause with in. So with those operators that we talked about. So where operator, where clause and in operator. So let's assume that I don't want only online clause alone. Online channel alone. Let's say I want channels from online and mobile. I think there's mobile there. Okay, to check the channels, we can write a statement using the distinct clause. So we'll say distinct sales channel from the table. So if I say distinct, the word distinct is just like unique in English language. So this would give me, so this is select statement with distinct clause. So you can only use distinct on you can use distinct on a select statement in brackets. You can also use distinct on a column. So you can see the way it works. So in this case now, I'm going to go back to my previous script. So in my previous script now, I want it to give me all the orders that are from online and in-store channels. So I'm going to use the in clause. So select statement with a where clause and okay. With a where clause and in operator. So I'm going to say in, then the values I want, I'll define them in a bracket. So I want distributor as well. Then you can also see that SQL is not case sensitive. So whether I put capital D or I put capital O, it will still fetch my information for me. So if I run this now, you can see I'm having all the records from sales channel, online, and distributor. So you can see it's easy for you to manipulate your data from SQL than from Excel. And then SQL is RDBMS is far more robust. Don't worry, I'm going to send you this script so you can also try those statements. So we also have select statements with some other operators, select statements, where clause, and other operators. So I'm going to show them to you quickly. So where clause, in operator. In this case, let's use between. Okay, so I know there is a column. I want to do my between on a column called discount. So there's a discount column. Okay. Okay. I want to know the range of my discount. So I'm going to write another quick statement. So you can see how we are using select statements in many interesting ways to retrieve information. So select statement to get the range of discount. Okay, so this will just be a simple select, and I'll say give me the maximum value using max clause. So maximum value of my discount, then minimum value again of my discount. So of course, when you know the minimum and maximum, you have the range from my sales orders table. So there are some operators that I didn't talk about, but I'm using them. Well, they are also important, and there are things that you can use along with your select statement. So of course, the demo will be much more comprehensive than the talk. The talk is just to give us an holistic understanding. So to get the range of discount using the max and min operators. So if I run this now, it will give me the maximum value in discount and the minimum value. Okay, so I can see the minimum Oh, sorry, the maximum value is 0.4, the minimum value is 0.05. Okay, so nice. I want to use this in my between clause now. So I'll use this in my next statement to say, give me some values where this condition is satisfied, and then using um, the between operator. I'm going to use two operators together here. You can combine several operators, you can combine several conditions. So for this now, use between operator, and in between and in operators. You can use it separately, you can use it together, but in this case, let's just use it together. So between, so you see now I'm using and to combine two conditions. I'm trying to actually be fast because I've explained the concept. So it's just for you to apply this in writing the statement. So you are saying, give me these columns from this table where this condition and this condition is satisfied. So where they are from this channel and the discount applied is between, so there's no issue, you just say between, then you specify the value. So let's say I want, oops, let's say I want, can you still hear me? Why is mine? Okay. So let's say I want between 0, so of course, let me put the minimum value first, 0.07 and 0.2. So if I run this now, it will, right, so it will retrieve the values from here, and everything within my distance here would be between 0.7 and 0.2. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, nice. I was seeing that I'm having internet instability, so I wanted to be sure.
Yes, it was unstable for a while, then came back.
Okay.
Very brief.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy you can hear me. Okay, so in this statement now, I've combined the between operator, the in operator, and the where clause. So you can, you can enlarge your statement that way. Let me see, is there any other operator I'm yet to touch? Okay, the like operator, let me, so I'm not going to write it separately, I'm just going to keep expanding on this script to show you the ways you can use the operator. So select statement with where clause and between, comma, in, comma, like operators. Okay, so looking at this now, let's say I want, let me see, where should I apply my like? Okay, so let me apply my like on my warehouse code. So on this my warehouse code now, I want it to, let me put this and on another line so it can be more visible to you. So I want it to give me records that are of certain pattern. So you can see that my warehouse code differs. Some are NMK, some are XYX, some PUJ, blah blah blah. But they all have they're all starting with WARE, right? So I want values. I want records that are of NMK pattern, right? So I'm going to use my like operator. So I'm going to say and the column name is warehouse code. So I'll say, and warehouse code, like, I'll use a wildcard in this case. So of course, remember I told you that there are two types of symbols. You can use the percentage, and then you can use underscore. So because I have WARE, right, then NMK, the main value and particular of is the NMK, right? So I'm going to say percentage, then contains. So give me any warehouse code that has this kind of pattern. It has 0 or more characters, then it has NMK in it, then 0 or more characters, right? And the characters can be space, it can be underscore, it can be hyphen, it can be anything. So once I run this now, I can see that I will have only a certain value. Okay, I'm coming. I'll be back. Okay, yeah. So you can see how this keeps expanding and expanding. Then let me see, is there some other one I've not touched? Okay, so I would like us to practice this. I've touched on all the where clauses and the operators. Okay, yeah, let's do the join. Then we'll wrap up with insert from Excel sheet. So with this now, you can tell you're expanding on your tables. So let's say we want to retrieve data from 2 or more tables. I'm going to use the sales channel again as an example. Okay, so if I, oops, sorry, I selected the column here. So if I execute this, of course, this will give me everything from my sales order table. Now, remember we talked about the concept of primary key and foreign key yesterday in our last demo. So you can see here that order number is primary key for sales orders table, and you have some foreign keys in it, like sales team, customer ID, and every other ID. So this 1, 2, 3, 4 are actually foreign key in this table, and they are referring, their information is actually in some other tables that have their similar columns, right? So let's say I want to know who these customers are or who this sales team name is, then I'll need to combine the table. So I'm going to combine the table. So I can say, let's say I want some particular columns. I can select this column. Select statements. join operator. Okay, so give me order number, this, that, from this sales table. Right. I want to know who these customers are. So I'll say join. So join this sales table, join it with customers table. Customers table. Okay, so I need to define how it will join them. So to define it, you need to use the on clause. So you say on sales order table, then I specify the column on the sales order table, which I wanted to use to join. It won't be the order number, it will be my customer ID number. Equal, then my customers table, then the primary key of that customers table, or the linking column, which is same as customer ID. Right, so with this now, I can get the customer information because everything here will give me both tables. Oh, okay, yeah. So it's saying ambiguous column name defined. The reason is because there's customer ID in sales, there's also customer ID in customer. So it's asking me that which of the customer's ID should it pick. So in this case, we can pick any of the two. So let's just say, give us customer ID for sales orders. So if I run this now, it will execute. So I can see the customer ID. Oh, sorry, I want the customer name, not the customer ID. So my customer name is actually my customers table, right? So to do that, please, if you have any question, you can stop me and ask. So to do that, I would specify customer's name. So let's take out customer ID. Let's specify customer name instead. So if I run this now, it will give me information from the sales order. It also gives me customer's name. Remember, there's no customer's name in sales order. It's getting these customers' names from the customers table that I've joined. Right. So this join I've used here is simply inner join. So this is a simple way of getting merged data from various tables. And you can even combine this also with your where information, with your where clause. So I can do this join operator and still specify all this where clause in it. So let's do join and still specify where. So select statement with the join operator and where clause. Okay, so I don't want to start all over again, so I'm just going to copy this where and put it in my select statement. So you can see now your select statement is getting more and more robust, right? So you can see it will perform the condition for me and it will still give me the customer's names, right? Okay, so I want to show us table aliases. Select, sorry, let me copy with the comments so I can. Okay, so select statement with join operator where clause and indicates table aliases. So table aliases are just short names used to represent tables. So in this case now, for sales order, I want a alias name. I can just say SO. For customers, you can say alias. Okay, no. Just put the alias name you want to use in front of it. Then for customers, I can say CUS, or you can use one character, you can use two character, anyhow you want it. So now when indicating the information, right, I can say give me order number from sales orders, and then I'll specify SO dot sales order. Then for sales channel 2 is coming from sales order SO. This one as well is SO dot as well. Then customer's name as well would be CUS, saying that get that for me from customer's table. Discount name will be SO dot. Now remember, there's customer ID in sales order and customer ID in customer's order. So I'm going to, let's say I want customer's ID as well in my information. Then I'll just specify one of the tables. So I can say SO dot my customer ID. Comma. So I have all the information I need. If I run this now, multi-part, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I've specified a table name alias here, then I also need to use this table name alias in defining my join. So I need to change it to the short name. This aliases is actually very good in cases when you have very long table names and when you are writing very long scripts. Invalid column SO warehouse code. Let's see. Oh, okay. There's an error here. And SQL is actually very good because it will indicate your errors for you and then you can correct it. So you can see I'm getting my information despite that I'm using table alias. Right, so we are going to, I want to show you how to write multiple SQL statements. Executing, how to write and execute multiple SQL statements, and then we'll stop the class here for today so that you can go and practice these SQL statements as well. You can see that we have gradually grown from writing simple SQL statements to writing much more interesting and complex SQL statements. So let's do multiple SQL statements. So multiple SQL statements is just simply executing more than one SQL statement at the same time. I'm going to use the insert statement to demonstrate this. I'm going to use customers table because it doesn't have much columns. So let's say we want to insert into customers table. We have a long list of customers that we want to do the data entry into customers table. So we'll do insert into, of course, you should remember the syntax, insert into table name. Then I can decide to indicate the column and I can decide not to indicate the column. So in this case, I have, once you have all the values for the column, then you might not indicate the column. Oh, okay, before we run insert, okay, let me run this in, okay, no, before I run this insert, let me alter the table to allow my customer ID to be a serial number that automates itself. So we wanted to do this in our last demo, but we had a small issue. And I've seen where you can make that change. So we'll come back to these statements. Let's go to our customers table and do an insert from the click method. So we'll right click, we'll do click, then customers. So remember I said we can insert from here. So here now I'm going to write one, then I'll put the customer name. Of course it will accept it, but for me, it doesn't make sense for me to be typing the number in an orderly manner. No, I don't want to be doing that. I'm just going to go to my customers design table. Please hold on. Let me just wrap up with this example and then you can ask question. So I'm going to go to my design now. And then on my customers ID table, I want to change ID to identity information. So identity simply means allow customer ID to update on its own in an orderly manner. So identity specification here, I'm going to toggle on this to say, oh, okay, so I can only specify identity on an integer data type. So I need to change this to integer. Okay. So I'll come back here and then say identity information should change to yes. Now we'll try to save this, but it will not save. Okay, so you can see it's not saving. The reason because SQL doesn't allow you to alter the changes to any table from the design area this way, except you enable the option for you to do so. So to do so, the option we were looking for in our last demo class is actually in tools. You go to tools, go to options, then you go to designs. Then this is it here, prevent saving changes that require table recreation. So I need to uncheck this. Once I uncheck this, it will allow me to save. So now that I've unchecked this, I can come here and specify that I want it to be identity, then I click save. Okay, so this is actually saved now. And for you to confirm, if you come back to your customers table and try to insert into it, you can see that this customer ID is even inactive, right? So if I try to insert into it now, I don't need to specify the serial number or the other number. So I'll come in. I don't need to specify this. I'll just say the customer name. It will update for me. It's not even the next column comes is this. So I'll say this, right? You can see, yeah. So that's this how it should be, because you don't want people entering the other number for you. Somebody might skip 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever, might skip the next number. So now that I've sorted this out, let's go back to our insert statement. So when doing your insert now, you would not insert value in your ID. You are just going to insert for customers' names. So I'll just say insert values. I can specify a name. I'll say insert values. Right. So if I run this now, it will execute. Right. So I can do multiple inserts from here. Right. If I do multiple inserts, it will keep inserting for me. Right. Now, but assuming I have about 1,000 names to insert, it will not make sense for me to be writing it here. Also, I can come to my design here and be inserting them. But this is simple when you are inserting for just one record, I mean, for one column or two columns or so. But imagine if you want to insert for a large column, like your sales orders. Imagine if we want to do insert for sales orders now. Right. Let's say we want to insert for this guy. So you can see it has multiple places that you need to insert, and you don't want to do this manually. Right. So an interesting way to do it is from Excel. I'm going to show that to us now. But before I do that, I'm going to use the truncate SQL script, truncate SQL statement to remove all the records from sales orders. So I'm going to remember truncate to remove all the data, but to not remove the table. So I'll just say truncate table, then specify the table name. So once we run this now, says command executed successfully. If I try to do select from the same table now, I would not find any information. I mean, I will not find any data. So select star from. Right. So you can see your table is still there because the columns are there, but all the data is gone. If you want to confirm that again, you do edit. You can see your table is there, but all the data is gone. So assuming we've lost all the data in our sales orders table, right? We can bring it back from our Excel. So I'm going to demonstrate that to us now. To do that, you can use the wizard like we did in our previous demo, or use multiple insert statements. I'm going to use multiple insert statements. So this sales orders table is larger. Okay, so I'm going to use multiple insert statements. Okay, don't let us use, let's recreate another table from this sales orders table. To do that, let's do this. Let's use the script. So script create as this. I want to create a table that has fewer columns. So sales orders, I want just these few columns. Okay, so sales order short. Okay, so it will create this table for me. Okay, nice. So I'm going to copy this script and paste it on that window as well, so you can use. create a shortened sales order table. Okay. You can generate this script like I did, and just in case you don't remember how to generate it, I've put the script here. Using this select star. Okay, so I've created a new sales orders table. I called it sales order short. If you want to confirm that it's there, you just refresh on your tables. So you can see the new table we created, right? So we want to import data into this table using from Excel sheets using multiple experience sets. So I'm going to call up that my Excel sheet. I have it somewhere in my downloads. US regional data. Yeah. Okay, so I'll use this one. You all have this Excel sheet as well. Okay, so our sales orders table, right? So I'm going to okay, so I need just order number, channel, warehouse, procure date, and order date. Let me copy it out from here so that it's easier for me to expand. So I need just these 4 columns. So let me copy this column into a new sheet. Okay, nice. So assuming I want to insert just one record from this sales order sheet, right? I would write my statement this way. Record into sales order new table. Remember this new table we created. So assuming I'm inserting just a record, I copied this value so that I'll know. I'll do insert into the table name. I may not choose to specify the column because I'm giving values for all the table. So I'll say this, comma, this value, comma, this value again, comma, specify the date, comma, and something is missing. I need to say values. So values. Right. So if I'm inserting just one record, this is what I'll do. I need to execute successfully. Oh, okay. Date should not be in. Let's see. Okay, so I'll specify one record this way, right? So in that similar vein, I'm going to copy this insert statement and create multiple insert statements from my Excel. So I want to create that statement in my Excel column. So I want to copy this here for a reference. So sorry, let's just paste it here. So I'm going to use the concatenate function in Excel. Concatenate function in Excel, right? And then I'm going to specify this as text and concatenate them. So in Excel, to specify your text, you use the double quote. So I'll take all of this as text in my Excel. So double quote up to this point. Then instead of my values, I'm going to indicate the values using the cell in my Excel. So I'll say comma, then I'll specify the corresponding value. So A2, then comma again, right? Indicates the characters that follow. Even the single column, the single quote is a character in Excel, so I'm going to indicate it. Then instead of install, I'm going to have the cell for that value. Then comma again, indicate this with quotes in Excel, comma, then instead of the warehouse number, I'm going to have the warehouse cell reference. So indicate this again. Instead of the date given here, pick the date from the reference, then comma. Oops, sorry. So pick the date from the reference. Okay, we are here. Pick the date from the reference, then comma. Sorry. Escape. Undo. Okay, I'm just going to type the reference name there so it doesn't clear off. So we are here. That would be D2. D2, comma. Then for the next one as well, double quotes. Oh, sorry. D2, comma. Don't worry, we can always check what it has written there. Then you have E2. E2, which is the cell reference there. Then end it. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so you can see it has generated a concatenated value for you. For us to be sure of what is there, we can just expand on this to see what is there too. So you see, insert into these values, this install, comma, the warehouse, okay, let me hide this so that I can see what is there very well. Okay, so You can see the first value, the second value, the next value. Oh, it's converting our date string. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. Let's hide this. Okay, so date can be null. Let's not impute date because it's converting, Excel is converting the date string. There's a way you can stop it from converting the date string, but I'm not going to do that now. So I'm just going to stop it at here. So let's see what this will give us. Okay, so something is missing here. So this text 1, text 2, text 3, right, right, right. So let's see. Okay, so this value 1, value 2, value 3. Then we want it to close. Okay, so close end the quote, then close the bracket. Oops, something is missing. Okay, let's do this again.
You're using your code.
I'm using what?
Triple code.
Okay, I'm coming.
About reduce, okay.
Double quote A2, one quote, double quote, comma, yes, this DVB is correct. Then this single quote, this is correct. Okay, so is this comma? This comma should not be here. That is, no, that's for this guy is done. Then the closing bracket in quote. Then the closing bracket for concatenate. Okay. Okay, I don't want this comma, right? So this comma should not be there. Instead, oh, okay, I see. This comma should not be there. C2, comma, C2, no other comma, then comma, end the closing bracket. Right. Okay, so let me start this again from the beginning. Sorry. Let me copy. So I'll create a single insert. I don't want date. Date is getting converted, right? So this is what we are going to insert. I just want to show how to create multiple inserts. So come back here. So I paste it here for a reference. Then I want to call it up using concatenation. So I'll say equals concatenate, right? It's always good to paste the function inside so that you can just follow to indicate your text. So all the text should be in quotes. So this is quotes. I'm going to stop at this point because of my single quote. I don't want that to be missing. So I'll end that quote. So that's the first text. I'll say comma. So instead of this value, I want the cell reference value. So that's A2, comma, then indicate my next text, quote, end it where this last quote ends, comma. Then instead of in store, I'll say B2, comma, then quote. Again, I would indicate space, comma. Instead of this guy, I would say C2, then comma, to indicate my last text. Okay, so I think that was where we're missing it. And then close brackets, right. So if you run into issues that way, just create a single insert and start all over again. Okay, so we've created a single insert, right? So in Excel, you can create multiple of these inserts for distinct values in your Excel sheet by just simply dragging and dropping. So I'm going to drag, and you can see it's getting the corresponding values from the Excel sheet. So I can do that for as many records as I want. Sales orders actually contains about 7,000 plus records rows. So let's just do for 1,000, or let's stop at 1,010. Right, so you can see I've created multiple inserts of about 1,000 records. So I'm just going to copy this now and then go to my SQL and paste and execute. So execute multiple inserts generated from Excel sheets. Right, so once I paste here now, oh, okay. Nah, undo. Hold on, let's go back there. Okay, so why is it putting it in string? Okay, I don't want, I'm going to paste again. Oh, okay, I know why. Let me do select that from others. Now, because the last statement I wrote was a comment statement, when I did my paste, it assumed it was a comment statement and then pasted it that way. Still having it pasted as string. No, it shouldn't be a string. Sorry, I'm coming. It's putting double quotes for me and I don't want the double quotes. Let me see the format of this cell. copy no, you must give me what I want. Okay, let's remove the space like she said. Okay, so right. Delete. Sorry, not so. Okay. It's not supposed to include this double quotes, and let's just remove it manually. But the concept is that we want to generate multiple multiple inserts from the Excel sheet. So that way you can run multiple inserts without having to use the wizard that we used in the last class. And then sometimes the need for this arises. Let's say you have the command prompt to work with, then you would need to use multiple inserts instead of using command prompt. So this way I've generated multiple inserts for a couple of statements. I can also generate for thousands and thousands of statements. So once I am able to create it automatically from Excel, I can come paste it here and run. Okay, because I didn't specify the number of columns. So here I'm just going to do, let's remove those columns because we don't want to specify values for them. Or I should have done that with alter. So I can say, because of you that would use scripts, I can say alter table, this table, drop columns. Let me see if that's dropped them. Okay. So I want to drop these two columns. Okay, drop column. This guy and this guy. I will need to the comma and sorry. Oh, alter table, then table name, drop column. Oh, okay. There should be no brackets. Alter table name, drop column. Okay, so it has deleted that column. I'll write similar command for the second column. Copy, paste, and so I can execute both together. But of course, the first column has been dropped, so it didn't recognize it. But I'm just putting both so that when you're practicing, you can execute both together. So that's the command to delete columns. Delete columns from table. Okay, so now I can execute multiple inserts. And this would work now. Column name or number does not match. So I have 1, 2, 3. Let me see. How many do I have in other shots now? Refresh first. Maybe it's not seeing it. 1, 2, 3. I still have other dates. I dropped it now. Okay, I guess it was not dropped. So if I refresh now, it's dropped now. So I have just 3 columns. I can execute this for 3 columns. So if I run this now, you can see it has been executed. Right, so you can generate multiple inserts from your Excel sheet like we did here. Then you can copy and paste on your SQL, highlight everything and run at once. Nice, so we are going to stop here today. I'm sorry, I was a bit fast, but it's just so that we can cover as much that we needed to cover. I'm going to allow us to ask questions shortly. Just hold on a little bit. Let's stop this recording. Thank you all for joining in this demo session. You can practice, and if you have questions, you can send to me via email or through any of my social channels. Thank you. Bye.